Seasoned with Grace Unbox presents Tune Up Tuesdays. This live weekly event is here to provide you and your family with tools for stronger family relationships. And now, here are your hosts, Doctors Robert and Denise Davis.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Tune Up Tuesdays, presented by Seasoned with Grace Unboxed. We hope you are ready to dive into today's subject, maintaining an active relationship with the key members of the family. So let's get started. Robert, would you please recap for us?
I sure would. As you know, we are taking point by point the 13 main items that are in Murray Bowens' Family Therapy and Clinical Practice, found on page 436. And it just simply says, when any key member of the family can accurately observe what is going on in their family, as well as the part they play in it, when they can control their own emotional reactions, when they can avoid counterattacking when they're provoked, and when they can maintain an active relationship with the other key members of the family without withdrawing, emotionally checking out, or becoming silent, the entire system will change in a series of predictable steps. This is the essence of producing change in the family system. This is the method of coaching one person through the predictable functioning of their family system and supervising their efforts to modify their functionings in all other relationships.
Okay, so for the past few weeks, we've talked about counterattacking and defending ourselves. Our ultimate goal is learning to control our emotional reactions. We want to be in control of our emotions, our reactions, and our responses. We don't want to give another person control over how we feel, how we think, act, or respond. So here's the truth. Because we're so biologically, historically, and emotionally connected to our families, if we can learn to be the type of person we want to be in our family's relationship, we can be the person we want to be in all other relationships.
Well, that's very profound, Denise. Excuse me. And you are spot on. And so that leads us into today's discussion, maintaining an active relationship with the other key members of the family. Want to just go on to say that that this is where we need to begin. This is where we need to begin to actually put into practice what we have discussed so far. When we first began, we talked about identifying the key members of the family. And I want to ask our viewers, do y'all remember when we talked about identifying the key members of the family? We've had a homework assignment where you went through and you wrote down all the key members of your family. We can only learn to be better at controlling our emotions, defining a self, and becoming more emotionally mature when we stay in contact with our family. Even though it may be our family that's getting on our very last nerve, we actually learn to become the person that we should be when we stay in contact with our person, because it goes back to what you said a moment ago about how we're connected biologically, historically, and emotionally to our family. And so I want to approach it from this angle. If we're going to learn a new skill, we have to go to school. The school for learning to define a self and to become who you want to be is the school of family relationships.
Wow.
If you drop out of trade school before you learn to fix cars, you'll never become a mechanic.
Right.
And if you drop out of family school before you learn to be who you're supposed to be, you'll never learn how to function as a healthy person in relationships.
Okay, you came up with that one?
I came up with that one all by myself.
Okay.
Because I went to a trade high school. Phelps Senior High School was actually a trade high school, and I learned robotics.
Oh, nice.
And my good friend Damon Mace, who's watching this, also knows that we were the best robotics class that ever come through Phelps.
Okay, and so from that you connected the family school.
You got it.
Okay, very smart. All right, so Robert, the 3 questions all of us need to ask ourselves is 1, which family member teach me the most about myself, or which family members teach me the most about myself?
Okay.
What is it that I can learn about myself and how I function in relationships from these family members? And number 3, what would I need to do to be the self I want to be in relationship with these family members?
Okay, Denise, those are some awesome questions. So are you ready to answer them? Yes, we're going to do a little bit of the role playing that we do so well.
Okay.
I want you to think
and
about...
throw up the questions on the screen for everyone.
Yeah, it's going to come during the homework time.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll come during the homework time. I want you to think about a difficult female in your family. And since you don't have anyone in your family named Angie, We're going to give her the name Angie. Whoever this person is, it could be a cousin, it could be an aunt, it could be a sister, it could be a mother, it could be whoever. I want you to think about a difficult person. And we're going to call this individual Angie. Is that okay? So to our viewers, I want you to pay close attention to the question that Denise is about to process relative to this particular family member who we're calling Angie. You will find these questions extremely helpful in your particular journey as you are starting to work through things with your own family members.
Okay.
Okay, you ready? What are the types of things that Angie does that makes y'all's relationship difficult?
Okay. Well, this particular Angie who I'm thinking about, that person will make snide comments or make statements that minimizes other people, other people's accomplishments, or anything else that she is ignorant about.
Okay, so this individual, when you're in conversation with her, makes snide comments. Got you. What strategy?
Or minimizing comments.
Or okay. So, man, give me a fake scenario that's kind of built off of a real scenario to kind of give people something that they can understand this from.
Well, let's see. Gosh, this on the spot.
Yeah.
Let's say someone, I guess, bought a house, and a pretty nice home. Then that person would say, "Oh, that person probably went in debt for the house," or anybody could buy a house, or just something like that, just to minimize an accomplishment that someone else would make.
Okay, so let's say, for instance, you worked hard, purchased a home. This individual would probably say something like, "Oh boy, in Denver they're just giving houses away. I heard in Denver, they'll give anybody a house. It's not really that hard to get houses. Houses are cheap or whatever."
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that would be very frustrating to me. So let me ask you this: what strategies and techniques have you used to manage her and y'all's relationship?
Okay, well, my personality is I pick my battles. So some things I'll let slide by just briefly correcting the statements, like, "Well, no, they don't. They just don't give houses away," and just move on from there. Well, if the statement that she's made is significant enough, then I'll excuse myself off the phone. I'll cool down. A lot of times, vent to you, and then I'll call the person back and address their misstatement or statements.
So you put a little distance there. Okay, I get that. When your strategies and techniques don't work, so you say you give yourself a little distance, a little time, a little cooling off period, etc. When that doesn't work, what do you typically do?
Not the good part, but I take a break from the relationship, so to speak. So I've learned that I can't change people. So the way I deal with it is setting up boundaries, and the way I set up boundaries is just to take a break from the relationship. Don't call for a while, and then I'll call again after.
So you find yourself, can I use that word that we've told everybody else not to use? Not to do? You find yourself withdrawing from the relationship?
Yeah, guilty.
All right. So because it's not me in the hot seat, let me just throw all kind of stones at you. So more or less what you'll do is, if family relationships are the school that we learn how to manage all other relationships and how to function as we want to and as we're supposed to in all other relationships, then what you're saying is that when it gets heated, you'll withdraw from the class.
I play hooky, yeah.
Or you'll play hooky. Okay.
I'm a truant. I'm a family school truant.
I think, and I'm glad that we're doing this. I don't want to just put Denise in the hot seat. I'm glad that we're doing this because most of us take some form of the incorrect way of dealing with situations. So, we've been talking an awful lot about counterattacking or defending ourselves. So a counterattacking, of course, would be something such as, "I know you're not talking. You don't even have a house.
That's not my personality.
You live in an apartment." Or defending ourselves may be, "No, I worked hard to get what I have."
That's not my personality either.
I don't know if you notice or not, but house prices in Denver have gone up tremendously over the last few years. It's as expensive to live in Denver as it is to live in Los Angeles or San Francisco somewhere. And so to let folk know, hey, I'm doing well or whatever. That's the defending ourselves.
Well, let me not say that's not my personality, because we talked about this a few weeks ago. I shouldn't say that's not my personality. What I should say is that's not my natural reaction.
That's not your natural reaction.
Yes.
Boy, somebody's actually picking up on this stuff. My girl. So I do want to say, on a serious note, I want to thank you for taking the time to work through that with me. For being so good, I'll give myself the homework assignment for this week. I'll be the one to do the homework assignment.
Okay.
And so here's your homework assignment, everyone. I want you to journal your responses to the following questions. The first one is, which family members teach you the most about yourself? Does this sound familiar? What is it that you learn about yourself and how you function in relationship from these family members? And the third question is, what will you need to do to be the self you want to be in relationship with these family members? And I'm going to reread that in a second, but I want to go with that last one because in life, in other places where it's not as emotionally charged, you are going to interact with these same family members on your job, at your church, at school, or wherever it may. You're going to run into these exact same type of people. And if you learn how to function within your family relationship that's most historically, emotionally, and biologically connected, then when you get into these other ones, you will find yourself being the best person. So let me read those questions again. I want you
Different setting, same personalities.
Different settings, same personalities. And if I can master it in the most difficult situation, then I can master it in the less difficult situation. So for instance, if I can learn to fight John Jones, if every day I train in the gym fighting John Jones, when I run up on someone out in the streets who's just a thug but has no skill set, it's easy breezy, 1, 2, 3 easy. And so here's the homework again. I want you to journal your response to the following questions. The first one is, which family members teach you the most about yourself? What is it that you learn about yourself and how you function in relationship from these family members? And what will you need to do to be the self you want to be in relationship with these family members? Okay. So Denise, that's about the end of it. We'll be back here next week at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Tune-Up Tuesdays, because even the smoothest running family needs a
Tune-Up Tuesday.
So we're going to see y'all again next week. Thank you for tuning in.
See you next week.
Thank you for watching Tune-Up Tuesday. You can connect with us on Facebook or check out our website at swg-unboxed.org. That's swg-unboxed.org. Again, thank you for watching, and tune in next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another insightful episode of Tune-Up Tuesday. Seasoned with Grace Unboxed also provides healthy relationship training and leadership development for businesses, churches, and community organizations. For a free consultation to discuss your team's needs, please contact us at our website at swg-unboxed.org. That's swg-unboxed.org.